Welcome back, it's JT, the OCG, coming to you from the place to be, the Normandy. And I have my civvies on, so that's good, I like that. Oops, got the Star Trek. Is there anything we can use here? Still recording, so I'm still drinking my P&G tips. When you want a kick, give it just the tip. Alright. Nothing in here. Medigel, though. Oh, got Codex. Medigel. Medigel is a common medicinal salve used by paramedics, EMTs, and military personnel. It combines several useful applications, a local anesthetic, disinfectant, and clotting agent all in one. Once applied, the gel is designed to grip tight to flesh until subjected to a frequency of ultrasound. It is sealable against liquids, most notably blood, as well as contaminants and gases. The gel is a genetically engineered bioplasm created by the CERTA Foundation, a medical technology megacorp based on Earth. Technically, Medigel violates council laws against genetic engineering, and so far has proved far too useful to ban. But does it work on alien species? Apparently it must, right? So we got Ashley here.
Hey, Commander.
Yeah. So we could kind of talk to her. We did kind of chew her out in the last episode because she was careless. She was. She went up to that thing. She didn't know what it was. So why the hell are you going near it in the first place?
I'm glad you're okay, Commander. The crew could use some good news after what happened to Jenkins.
Jenkins was a valuable part of this crew.
Part of me feels guilty over what happened. If Jenkins was still alive, I might not be here.
Well, I'm not going to give her any kind of praise. I'm just going to tell her the facts. Again, I'm kind of cold. I've seen soldiers die before. I'm used to it. It's how I cope with losing soldiers.
When your number comes up, it's over. His did.
Do you really believe that, Commander? After what happened to you on Akuz? Are you saying you only survived because of random chance?
Akuz was a bloodbath. Even now, I don't know how I survived. I guess it just wasn't my time yet.
With respect, sir, I think you had somebody watching over you.
Don't know where she's going with that, but... What, my family? Who knows? I don't know. So now we ask how she's holding up.
Things were pretty rough down there. Are you okay?
I've seen friends die before. Comes with being a Marine. But to see my whole unit wiped out, and you never get used to seeing dead civilians. But things would have been a lot worse if you hadn't shown up.
Well, again, why am I sitting here just like trying to go, you helped, hey, all this kind of... The mission did fail. We failed.
Dead Marines, dead colonists. And in the end, we still didn't get that beacon.
You saved a lot of lives, Commander. It might be hard to keep that in perspective with what happened to Jenkins.
I don't know if I should say you're right or I should go... Let's just say you're right or something. You give her, give her some... She's right. She's right.
Thanks, Williams. I needed to hear that. I think you're gonna fit in here just fine.
Thanks, Commander.
There. Okay. So, yeah, I didn't know that was going to be the response, but I do like the response. I kind of like gave her kind of like the old pat on the back and saying, that was good advice and thanks for hearing it, because even now, even commanders need to hear that kind of stuff too. So Dr. Chakwas, who doesn't salute, doesn't follow medical military protocol, thinks she's something special. Let's see what she says.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
Let's talk about Caden.
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
Oh, I don't like that.
What kind of complications?
Severe mental disabilities,
Oh,
insanity,
Jesus.
crippling physical pain. There's a long list of horrific side effects. Caden's lucky. He just gets migraines.
He just gets migraines now. He could become insane. Oh boy. And let's see her take on Captain Anderson.
What do you know about Captain Anderson?
I've served with him for a few tours now. He knows when to let things slide and when to crack the whip. The crew knows he's seen pretty much anything they'll ever run into. And he cares about the people under his command.
And about you.
How did you end up serving on an Alliance ship?
I enlisted right out of med school. Earth always seemed boring to me. Too safe, too secure. I figured the colonies were teeming with exotic adventure. I wanted to travel the stars, tending the wounds of tough soldiers with piercing eyes and sensitive souls. Turns out military life isn't quite as romantic as I'd imagined. But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse, and the Alliance always needs good doctors. So I stayed on to do my part.
Great. So you're one of those individuals that read those Harlequin romance novels with the guy on the cover with like his six-pack abs riding a horse with his Fabio hair. Oh boy. I don't like that at all. I really like a more grounded doctor, to tell you the truth. And he regrets.
Ever think you made the wrong choice?
I think
Sometimes
you did.
I think about opening a private practice back on Earth. Or maybe taking a position at one of the new med centers out in the colonies. But there's something special about working on soldiers. If I left the Alliance now, I'd feel like I was abandoning them.
I'm sure you do a lot of work on soldiers. Oh yeah.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
I should go. Caden?
Glad to see you're okay, Commander.
Personal space issues? How's that headache going, Caden? I'm sorry. And we go up here and frosty balls. So I guess, what are these? Hibernation chambers or sleeping chambers? Don't know. I can't even use them. But I guess this is where we all sleep? So okay, with the crew, we don't have like a lot of crew members, but with the crew we have, we must sleep on shifts. Can I do anything here? Nope, can't do anything here. And then, oh, what do we got? Are these massage chairs? I do need a massage after that mission. Alright, now. Oh, this is Captain Anderson's quarters.
Go speak to Joker when you're ready. Tell him to bring the Normandy into dock.
Why does he have two twin beds? And why are you just looking at... I don't even want to know. I don't want to know either one of those things. It's just weird jogging around a ship. Okay, so that goes up there. But we want to go down here because we do want to see the wreck officer because we have a bunch of junk. Really. Alright. Still got the lockers here. And I don't know why this is... Alright. Well, I'm just doing this so I can see. So we got 2 Banshee and 2 Lancers, 2 Hurricanes and 2 Storms. I don't want to sell something that someone's using. But I guess, you know, that's just a little bit... This is a little bit easier than, you know... than going out on the mission and then getting out and then hitting the start button. I get it. I get it. We got Codex there, and let's talk about
Hey,
requisition.
Commander. Looking for some extra supplies before you head out?
What have you got?
Whatever you want. Armor, weapons, mods. It's not standard Alliance issue, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, as long as you don't mind paying for it.
Why should I pay you for my weapons and armor?
My stuff doesn't come from the Alliance. I have to purchase it myself, and it's not cheap. Hell, the licenses alone have set me back more than I'd like. But no licenses, no goods. Without the goods, I'm out of a job.
Why am I getting the same options
What are
here?
licenses? Why do you need them?
Manufacturers sell licenses. Each license allows me to buy and sell a certain brand of products. I already have several basic ones, but you'll need to buy more if you want me to bring in different brands. Many of the best licenses are hard to get, but they're well worth the cost if you can find them.
What do the different manufacturers offer?
There are too many for me to keep track of, but each license will explain what it's good for.
Okay. So I don't know if I did that during my test run or during the first episode. So I just wanted to do that. Make sure I covered
How
all the
often
bases.
will you get new items?
Well, that depends on how many licenses you've purchased. But I'll rotate items on a regular basis regardless. And anytime we land someplace with a big enough port, I'll buy, sell, and trade whatever I can. Check back often. I need to move items quickly, so only the most basic items will be stocked consistently.
And I don't think I came down
see what
here
you've got.
or was able
You bet,
to.
Commander.
So we'll see. Okay. And all this stuff is highly expensive, so let's go to the cell. Yeah, I just don't see the purpose of that. A hammer. Okay, so we got 2 hurricanes. I know those are Avenger. And then we have the 2 Banshees that we didn't need. The Explorer, which is basically used. The Phoenix, which is freaking white, so we're not using that. And the Storms and the Lancers. The Explorer and the Liberator. Chemical rounds, radioactive rounds. There. I think I'll keep these 2. So now we got 25. Yeah, it was all crap. All crap. And we can't really afford anything. Grenade, but we can afford a grenade upgrade and a metagel upgrade. So that's what I want. So at least we got that. Now let's talk engineer. Wow. That's kind of beautiful.
Shame about Jenkins, Commander.
It is. Codex for the element 0. What do we got here? Field integrity monitor. So we got some more codex. We got some engineering crew here. I wish they wore different kind of colors to distinguish engineering and navigation and helm and all that kind of stuff. But I get it. It's not Star Trek. You don't want to be too much like Star Trek, right? Alright. Alright, so I'll go up here and then I'll walk on the bridge. I do like that you have to manually open the door. And then you're going to salute me. I am a commander. As you were. I just wish I walked a little bit faster. It'd be nice. Only commanding officer may specify a destination for the Normandy? Oh, gotcha. Okay. And so we got the comm, right? This is the comm office. So we got another codex here. All for experience. Presley?
I'm glad you're okay, Commander. Losing Jenkins was hard enough on the crew.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, Jenkins did get enough of a backstory to actually say, you know, it's a hard loss. Nav manual. And I think we're good. Let me just go here before. Okay, so the last thing we do is talk to Joker. I don't think we have anything else here. So what we're going to do, go to the Codex. Yay, primary.
The Mako infantry fighting vehicle was designed for the System Alliance's frigates. Though the interior is cramped, an M35 is small enough to be carried in the cargo bay and easily deployed on virtually any world. With its turreted 155mm mass accelerator and coaxially mounted machine gun, the Mako can provide a fire team with weapon support as well as mobility. Since Alliance Marines may be required to fight on any world, the Mako is environmentally sealed and equipped with microthrusters for use on low-gravity planetoids. The Mako is powered by a sealed hydrogen-oxygen fuel cell and includes a small Element Zero core. While not large enough to nullify the vehicle's mass, the core can reduce it enough to be safely airdropped. When used in conjunction with thrusters, it also allows the Mako to extricate itself from difficult terrain.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's a nice background for the Mako.
Biotics is the ability of rare individuals to manipulate dark energy and create mass effect fields through the use of electrical impulses from the brain. Intense training and surgically implanted amplifiers are necessary for a biotic to produce mass effect fields powerful enough for practical use. The relative strength of biotic abilities varies greatly among species and with each individual. There are 3 branches of biotics. Telekinesis uses mass-lowering fields to levitate or impel objects. Mass-raising kinetic fields are used to block or pin objects. Spatial distortion uses rapidly shifting mass fields to shred objects. Most organic species are capable of developing biotic abilities, though there are risks involved. Biotics are the result of an in utero exposure to Element Zero. This usually causes fatal cancers in the victim, but in rare cases, it coalesces into nodules within the fetus's developing nervous system.
And here's where I say, it's a eugenics program, and humans are not exactly a protagonist here. That is dangerous on the morality scale. That's past the morality scale. I think this is very immoral to do to somebody. And so it is the fetus, and not like in the embryonic stage. But this is Mass Effect's other half. So you got the Spectres and the Biotics, and together they form Jedi Knights. There you go. There's the Jedis. So Saren, I think, is both. He's a Spectre and he's a Biotic. So guess what? He's just like he is a Sith Lord, essentially. So they kind of grab some of that. What I don't understand here is just like, oh, organic species, but then you'll come to find that there's vast differences in the organic species between humans and other of the aliens that we're going to meet, and so I don't know about that. That's kind of stretching it.
When subjected to an electrical current, the rare material dubbed Element Zero, or EZO, emits a dark energy field that raises or lowers the mass of all objects within it. This mass effect is used in countless ways, from generating artificial gravity to manufacturing high-strength construction materials. It is most prominently used to enable faster-than-light space travel. EZO is generated when solid matter, such as a planet, is affected by the energy of a star going supernova. The material is common in the asteroid debris that orbits neutron stars and pulsars. These are dangerous places to mine, requiring extensive use of robotics, telepresence, and shielding to survive the incredible radiation from the dead star. Only a few major corporations can afford the setup costs required to work these primary sources. Humanity discovered refined Element Zero at the Prothean Research Station on Mars, allowing them to create Mass Effect fields and develop FTL travel.
But I do like the backstory of Evo and the Mass Effect as a whole, and that gives like a lot of credence to that kind of stuff.
Element Zero can increase or decrease the mass of a volume of space-time when subjected to an electrical current. With a positive current, mass is increased. With a negative current, mass is decreased. The stronger the current, the greater the magnitude of the dark energy mass effect. In space, low-mass fields allow FTL travel and inexpensive surface-to-orbit transit. High-mass fields create artificial gravity and push space debris away from vessels. In manufacturing, low-mass fields permit the creation of evenly blended alloys, while high-mass compaction creates dense, sturdy construction materials. The military makes extensive use of mobility-enhancing technologies, with mass effect utilizing fighting vehicles standard frontline issue in most military forces. Mass effect fields are also essential in the creation of kinetic barriers or shields to protect against enemy fire.
Changing my freaking arm levels here. Okay.
Omni-tools are handheld devices that combine a computer microframe, sensor analysis pack, and manufacturing fabricator. Versatile and reliable, an Omni-tool can be used to analyze and adjust the functionality of most standard equipment, including weapons and armor, from a distance. The fabrication module can rapidly assemble small three-dimensional objects from common reusable industrial plastics, ceramics, and light alloys. This allows for field repairs and modifications to most standard items, as well as the reuse of salvaged equipment. Omni-tools are standard issue for soldiers and first-in colonists.
Oh, that's pretty
Biotic.
cool. That's cool. Like how the Omni-tool is used. Military jargon. Oh, here we go. Ashore. When a ship's crew leaves the vessel, they are ashore. So most of this is going to be using... This isn't military jargon. This is Navy jargon. This isn't about Army or anything like that. So... the damn scroll, we're going to use the cursor on this one. Away. When a ship releases the equipment tethering to a space station or service dock, it is away. Aye, the proper way to acknowledge an order. If told to attack, the correct response is aye, sir. If asked, are you proud to be a Marine, the correct response is yes, sir. ASAP, pronounce ASAP, an acronym as soon as possible. Belay, stop, cease. Belay that order. Bridge, the navigation center of a spacecraft where the steering is done. Captain's mast, non-judicial disciplinary proceedings by unit commanders. Star Trek had a very good episode. The Next Generation had a very good episode. It was called the something drum. Oh my God, the pirate drum. The something like that. That's what it used to be called in shipfaring times. CIC, Combat Information Center, sort of like the TOC that I had as an artillery person. The command center of a spacecraft, except ours was the Tactical Operations Center of where we lined up artillery strikes. CIC is filled with sensor displays that make sense out of the chaos of combat. DC, damage control, containment and repair of damage to a spacecraft. ECM, electronic countermeasures used to avoid enemy sensors from passive missions masking to active jamming. EVA, extravehicular activity, time spent in a pressure suit outside of a vehicle, spacecraft, or station. The only time I've ever heard EVA is astronauts. Flank. And this is what I try to do all the time, is I try to position my two squad mates to flank, to try to get to the side. The flank is the side of a military formation, so soldiers are facing elsewhere. Enemy that can attack on the flank can often turn it or roll it up. Flank is was mostly used with cavalry. So you would have like your vanguard, which was for you English subscribers, it was the Scottish people that you used to put in the vanguard. Don't think I don't know that. So, but you would have the vanguard, which would just be militia with basically pole spikes. And sometimes to try to get rid of cavalry, they would have like these big logs with pointed stuff. I forgot I don't know what they're called. I used to know what they were called. But you would put those in there to kind of protect you. But what the cavalry would try to do was flank. So they would try to go from the side and just like whoosh, rip around. Because behind the vanguard was actually the more important trained military. So when the vanguard, they would take out some people, but they usually got slaughtered. Then the well-rested, well-trained military would be behind them, and hopefully would get some tired soldiers that they could roll over. FNG, freaking new guys, a derisive term for inexperienced personnel. I wonder what we used to call 'em meat. Like fresh meat, raw meat. So we used to, hey, meat. I don't think we had anything else like an acronym. But again, Army, military in general, it's all freaking acronyms. I hate acronyms, but I'm sure we did. I'm sure we did have something. FUBAR, effed up beyond all recognition. That would be something. Ate up like a soup sandwich. That's not an acronym, but that was another term. Ground side surface of a planet. Helmsman pilots spacecraft. LADAR. We already read about LADAR. Shore party. Sent ashore on official business. So basically the away party in Star Trek. Silent running. Old submariners term used aboard the Normandy to denote when stealth systems are active. SITREP, abbreviation of situation report, an evaluation of the current military situation. Okay, SITREP. Spacer, someone who has spent most of their life in space. XO, executive officer, that is me. The second in command of an Alliance warship, the XO is responsible for administrative and personnel matters. So, pretty cool on that front. What do we got? Amps. So, nodules form fields, so you get implant surgically embedded interface port in which amps are plugged in. On humans, the implant is usually placed at the base of the skull. So Saren, you saw he had stuff at the base of his skull for convenient access, though the user must be careful to keep it free of contaminants. Oh, is that foreshadowing? Are we going to put herpes into Saren's knob kitten? Implant ports can fit a variety of amps, and there is a growing market for modifications and add-ons. Finds quality, and amps are manufactured by Asari artisans, but the Alliance's L3 implants, first deployed in 2170, are a significant step forward. Okay. So the Asari get the L2s, which makes our people go insane. Not really trusting the Asari now, but thank God humans came aboard and decided to try to forego that. Real-time communication is possible thanks to a network of expensive mass relay comm buoys that can daisy chain a transmission via lasers. Comm buoys are maintained in patterns built outward from each mass relay. The buoys are a little more than a cluster of primitive miniature mass relays. Each individual buoy is connected to a partner on another buoy in the network, forming communication, blah, blah, blah. Tubes of FTL space. So essentially what this is, parties remain half a life second, 150,000 kilometers. So basically they're just using modern telecom networking and placing it into space and calling them buoys. So this is basically how our cell phone works, right? I'm pretty sure. I do like, during wartime, comm buoy networks are the first target of attack, which they should be. Once the network is severed, it can take anywhere from weeks to years to get a message out of the contested system, which I don't understand why you don't guard them. If you have these spaceships and everything, why don't you just essentially have just heavy patrol ships with like cramped quarters, cramped things, but with just frickin' rockets and guns on it, and just plant them near the buoys and then let them stay there for, I don't know, a couple of weeks or however long supplies will last. Someone comes in to relieve and then they go back. That would be the safest bet, right? But I'm going to guess that doesn't happen in this game. And this will come up where buoys will be destroyed. All right. So, let's go talk to Joker and get going.
Good timing, Commander. I was just about to bring us into the Citadel. See that taxpayer money at work.
Now, everybody loves this scene. Everybody loves this musical score. It is amazing.
Citadel fleet.
Well, sizes and everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower, too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side, then.
Citadel Control, this is SSV Normandy, requesting permission to land.
Stand by for clearance, Normandy. Clearance granted. You may begin your approach. Transferring you to an Alliance operator.
Roger, Alliance Tower, Normandy now.
Normandy, this is Alliance Tower. Please proceed to Dock 422.
This is an outrage! The Council would step in if the Geth attacked a Turian colony?
The Turians don't found colonies on the borders of the Terminus systems, Ambassador.
Humanity was well aware of the risks when you went into the Traverse.
What about Saren? You can't just ignore a rogue Spectre. I demand action!
You don't get to make demands of the Council, Ambassador.
Citadel Security is investigating your charges against Saren. We will discuss the CSEC findings at the hearing, not before.
Captain Anderson, I see you brought half your crew with you.
Just the ground team from Eden Prime, in case you had any questions.
I have the mission reports. I assume they're accurate?
They are. Sounds like you convinced the Council to give us an audience.
They were not happy about it. Saren's their top agent. They don't like him being accused of treason.
Well, I'm just gonna go with the neutral choice here.
Saren's a threat to every human colony out there. If they don't stop him, I will.
Settle down, Commander. You've already done more than enough
neutral
to jeopardize your candidacy for the Spectres. The mission on Eden Prime was a chance to prove you could get the job done. Instead, Nihilus ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
That's Saren's fault, not his.
What a horrible line that was.
The CSEC investigation turns up evidence to support our accusations. Otherwise, the Council might use this as an excuse to keep you out of the Spectres. Come with me, Captain. I want to go over a few things before the hearing. Shepard, you and the others can meet us at the Citadel Tower, top level. I'll make sure you have clearance to get in.
And that's why I hate politicians.
I'm with you on that one, Sergeant Williams. Okay, so there's Odina, comes off as a brass a-hole, but you also have to kind of relate to him, where they thought they had a step in the right direction. They thought they were going to get a little bit more leeway, and a little bit more say in the Council, and then this stuff happens. So he does have a right to be upset. And nothing he said was absurd or out of the ordinary, or unwarranted, I should say. That's what happened. Nihilus is dead. The beacon's destroyed, and it could adversely affect our thing. I'm going to do this just because I know some things are timed. So, and we're going to wrap this episode up, but you also saw that, he's very much for humanity, and he said, he was very blunt and said, if a Turian colony was attacked, the Council would be all over it. And he's right, and it's true. And then you see how the Council reacted. Not the Turian, but the Asari and the Solarian, who both sat there and blatantly said, that's your fault. You knew the risks. Why should we worry about it? See, so when it comes to the characters in this game that get a lot of flack about being space racists or bigots against alien races, these people who do that always tend to ignore the words and actions of the alien species towards humans. And that should be very, very telling, where they're going to sit there and just, well, you guys knew the risk. Why should we put our necks out for the human race? Well, maybe because we're part of this whole galaxy, and we had a truce, and we have some kind of diplomatic relations with you guys. and you don't let other species just hang out to dry, as will be evident sooner or later that we see, where they went and they helped other alien races that aren't on the council, but yet humans get like this very hands-off approach by the council members, by those three main alien races. Another thing is what a beautiful scene coming into the Citadel. Of course, you didn't need me with my my aside or my interjection in that one, so I learned how to shut up for once. However, there was one of those like sophomoric jokes with the "it's not how big it is," and of course the woman saying, "Oh, you got a small one, Joker." I'm not against PG-13 humor. Well, R-rated humor. Yeah, let's call it R-rated. It's past PG-13. So R-rated humor, but use it in the right space. Use it when it alleviates, like, there's a tense situation and it alleviates that tense situation. That's a good time for it. I don't like it when it's kind of interjected all the time. And that's one thing with modern RPGs, where they kind of interject that kind of humor way too much. Again, 30 to 40-year-old male game developers with the emotional and sexual maturity of a 13-year-old boy. And so these things are going to come into play. I do like that new armor for Ashley, although, again, the boob plates. At least now her buttocks are covered. So if she gets shot in the butt, she won't go down in a heap. I guess that's the good part of it. Anyways, we're just going to explore the embassy. That's all we're going to do next episode. And then we're going to go right into the council and do the horrible first part of this plot device, where we shouldn't even be going to the council until we get more proof. And it's probably going to come off exactly how I think, where the council just sits there and says, these are just allegations with no basis. And then they're just going to go dismissed. I think that's what's going to happen. Again, I didn't play up until that point. In my test run, this is as far as I got right here. That talk with Udina, and then boom, and then I stopped. So everything here going on is going to be blind. We do have codex, though, so let's see our codex.
The Citadel. The Council is an executive committee composed of representatives from the Asari Republics, the Turian Hierarchy, and the Solarian Union. Though they have no official power over the independent governments of other species, the Council's decisions carry great weight throughout the galaxy. No single Council race is strong enough to defy the other two, and all have a vested interest in compromise and cooperation. Each of the Council species has general characteristics associated with the various aspects of governing the galaxy. The Asari are typically seen as diplomats and mediators. The Solarians gather intelligence and information. The Turians provide the bulk of the military and peacekeeping forces. Any species granted an embassy on the Citadel is considered an associate member, bound by the accords of the Citadel Conventions. Associate members may bring issues to the attention of the Council, though they have no input on the decision. The Human Systems Alliance became an associate member of the Citadel in 2165.
Okay, now some people might say, well, that's a good system of government. You got the three most powerful species, and they all have checks and balances. Well, do they? Do they? Because if you're not part of that council, you could get swept under the rug, and no one's going to care. This is sort of like the modern-day UN, right? So the modern-day UN, China has a huge influence in the modern UN, and the United States does not anymore. It used to, but now it does not. It's been kind of like pushed to the side. But when it did, it was basically, it was the USSR and the United States in the United Nations bickering and really causing havoc for very small members of the United Nations. If you think that, let me see, I'm trying to think of a very, very small country. Not Nigeria. Liberia. Liberia. If you have Liberia there and they have a major issue, they're at the mercy of China, and I don't know if Russia has much of a say in the UN anymore, but they're at the mercy of the UK, the US, China, Canada. I think Canada probably has a bigger say in the UN than the US nowadays. Japan. And they're kind of out on their butts if they sit there and they go, well, the UN's not going to deal with it. And I've dealt with UN, and I've dealt with UN forces. First of all, the UN military, they don't call them UN military forces. They call them UN peacekeeping forces. And so useless. The only thing I saw the UN forces do were basically sleep with American military women. That's all. And then for some reason, the women in the American forces when I was over in Somalia, they loved the Italian guys. I don't know. They loved the Italian UN peacekeeping force guys. And also, when I was shot, there was I was operated on by a French captain, a French UN captain. I remember that one. I was in shock. My knee was like blown out from the side. So didn't do anything to the patella, thank God. It missed the patella, but it sliced my ACL, my PCL. I forgot what the other one is, but there was cartilage in there and, shattered. So I'm in shock. And I look up and I see that little blue frickin' beret. And this French captain sits there and tells me, he goes, I think you are lucky, no? I think he was aiming for your head. And I said a bunch of swear words, and then I went, sir. And then I passed out. So, there's my little story. Anyways, that's that. We will be back, and we will go through the embassy and go right to the council. Thank you for joining me. Get off my interlawn.